What's up everybody, John here at metalaviation.com, and we're going to go over beginner planes. Hopefully you've read through that chapter in the book and you have an idea of what I'm talking about here. And basically by beginner planes I mean the planes that are best suited for you to start out flying with. Number one on my list is the Hobby Zone, Park Zone, Hobbico, Horizon Hobbies, all the same company, is their Super Cub LP. I suggest getting, if you have the money, go with the bind and fly version and then use your own radio. That's really my main suggestion, but the problem with that is it's going to be a lot more expensive. That's going to cost you 170 bucks plus a radio, 150, so you're looking at over 300 bucks. But you can use that transmitter with other planes as well. And the Spectrum stuff is bind and fly, so you could buy another plane and bind that transmitter with that plane, and down the road you're going to be set. Now if you're just getting into it and you're thinking, this looks cool, I don't know if I like it, I might not be able to do it, I'd rather spend as little money as possible, I still think your best bet is this plane, but the ready to fly version, because it comes with the battery, charger, transmitter, plane, everything you need to be up and flying. You can have that thing up and flying in a half hour to an hour max. You can put that battery on the charger, put the plane together. By the time you get done putting the plane together, your battery will be charged and you can go out and fly it. That's what I suggest, and this plane's a lot of fun to fly. It doesn't have ailerons. That's something I'd add down the road, but this thing flies really well with rudder only. And since you're new to flying, you won't really notice the difference anyway. The ailerons are just going to give you a little bit more control of rolling. You know, with the rudder, you kind of just tilt and turn. You really can't do full rolls. That's what the ailerons will give you. But you really don't need to do that anyway when you're starting out. So again, that's the way to go. The ready to fly kit, 170 bucks, 180, right around there, whatever it is, that's the best way to go. If you're on the fence and you just want to put as little as possible into it, you could just get that and be out flying that day. Bind and fly if you've already been into a little bit, been flying around, and you know you're going to get more planes. So that's it. That's number one. Number two on my list is really build your own plane. Download some plans. We have PDF plans. You're members, so you can just get right in there and download whatever plans you want and build your own plane. If you're not very crafty and you don't want to do that, go with this. But if you have built models before, or you like to build, you want to give it a shot, you can build the Cessna 182, which is the cheapest plane to build out of all the PDF plans that we have. Now we only have 5 up there now. There's more on the way. Really simple to repair. If you smash this thing straight into the ground, you'll easily be able to repair it. I busted this thing up pretty good just test flying it, figuring out the CG and all that as I designed it. And this is still the same plane that crashed into the power lines. I hung it in the power lines. You can see a little, probably can't see it that good, but you can see a little divot right there. Hung it on the power lines, went straight into the ground, busted the front off, glued that right back with hot glue, was flying 15 minutes later, busted the wing off the very first flight, because the CG was all wrong. I mean, I beat this up pretty good, and it still flies really nice. I'm going to redo it one of these days, but it's got sentimental value now. But this is a really nice flying plane, flies just as good as this plane. It's actually a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit easier to transport, but it flies just as easy as this plane. And you could build this whole plane for around $7, I think, maybe even less. I think it only has $3 worth of foam on it, and maybe a couple dollars more in skewers and some other stuff. This has no carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is the most expensive part when you're building these park flyers. Like the park jets all need at least probably 10 bucks worth of carbon fiber if you buy it at the hobby store. I specifically made this carbon free-less just so it costs less to build, so it wouldn't be that big a deal to rebuild the whole thing if you wanted to. Then you got maybe with servos and all that, 70 bucks. Servos and motor and speed control, probably not that much, well, if you had the battery in, sure, around 70 bucks. So the thing about it is all these parts you can take off and put on another plane. But anyway, that's really my second recommendation, is build this plane or build any PDF trainer plane that you see out there that you can download. You don't have to build this one. This one flies really well. I recommend it because I designed it, but hey, that's the way I would go. So that's it. That's really what I recommend. I will put a side note out there that if you have very limited money, that the 169 or 70 bucks or 89, whatever this full ready to fly kit costs, if you don't even have that much to spend and you're really on a tight budget but you still want to give it a shot, there's a plane out there, it's called the Multiplex. It's got about 20 different names. Multiplex, I have it written down here in the book because it's under so many different names, I can't remember what they all are. But it's the Multiplex, Easy Star, Sky Surfer, Wild Hawk, Skyhawk, Hawk Sky. It's got 20 different names. There's a picture of it in the book. I'll probably flash one here up in the video for you so you can see what it is. That plane, I really don't recommend that plane because it does not fly like a regular plane, like a you know, the Cub, like this, like a jet. I mean, the jets don't fly like this, but it's more of a glider with a motor on it. And the problem with that is it's turned slow. It just doesn't. It doesn't have the tendencies that a standard plane that most people want to fly has. So you learn how to fly on that, and then you even jump to something like this, and it's a lot harder because this is just going to act differently. You know, those multiplexes, Skyhawk, Hawk Skies, whatever, they're basically, again, like I said, gliders with a motor on it. And I just don't like the way they fly. So I don't recommend them, but I will say give it a shot if that's all you can afford. That is an option if, you know, you really want to go that route. And that plane is very durable. Those planes, I don't care who makes it, what brand it is, they're all the same design. They're very durable because the motor's on the back instead of on the front. So if you dive into the ground, you might dent the front up, the nose up a little bit, but you're not going to destroy the prop and motor and all that. So there are some benefits to it. It's not indestructible, but you're going to do less damage on a crash. I mean, you can crash those around pretty good. I've beaten them up pretty good at the field. But again, I don't recommend it because I just don't like the way they fly. I just think they're going to give you some bad habits or give you a false sense of security when you take up a different plane, a real plane, we'll say. So, you know, give it a shot. If that's all you have, you know, give one of those a try. I definitely recommend going with a regular build your own trainer or this trainer. And that's going to do it. You know, these are the planes that I recommend. Read the book. It tells you pretty much the same thing, but at least you can see the planes here live in person and know that I actually have them and not recommending them just for the heck of it. I fly this thing all the time. In between my flights with my park jets, I usually fly this, fly with my kids, fly with the neighbors. Great plane, love it. Learn how to fly on it. Later.